Hi, this is Don Debelak. You've reached the 10th video in the series Getting Started, Starting to Make Sales. This video is titled Targeting First Customers, A Balanced Approach. So basically, once you've gone through the steps, you've gotten money, you've kind of fixed in on your sales force, you really want to, at some time in this process, decide who you're going to target first, who you're going to commit your resources to, and who you're really going to go all out to make your first sales. But you want to have a balanced approach. In other words, you can't just go after little customers. After all, if you raise money, if you remember our video on raising money, if you're taking in investments of $150,000 or $200,000, those people expect you to make sales and get a certain profitability. So you need to target customers that can fulfill the needs of your investors, that really drive you forward in the marketplace, and but at the same time that you have inside tracks to, and that where you can be the most effective. So if we're going to target for success, we're going to take a look here at some of our assets, some of the things we know. One is we won contacts of the company. You've made contacts, hopefully. You've been going to trade shows. You met some sales reps. You have some people in the industry you can talk to. You've met some marketing people from other companies with complementary products, and you kind of have somewhat of a position in it with contacts throughout the marketplace. Now, as you're looking over these contacts, what you really want to do when you come out is you just want to have one larger customer. If you have too many larger customers, you're going to find there's a lot of details to work out and a lot of issues sometimes. So it's best not to go with like too many large customers at first, but go with just one or two that you can really work through the bugs in your system and get everything done. Now, when I say larger customers, you want to make sure they're not too large. They're still mid-sized companies that you can support. You have the financial resources to make their products. If they need a lot of online training or on-site training, can you deliver that training? So you want to be sure you go with companies that kind of match your resources, but still give you the push to get into the marketplace. Now, when you're looking at customers, general merchandisers are not nearly as good for you as people that are really focused on your target customer. For instance, if you have a camera store, you have a scrapbook store, you have a bike shop, kitchen store. These are kind of customers that really focus on your target customer, and that's important to you because there you get sales help, there you get people who are pushing your product, and there you get customers who are really ideal for you coming into the store. And again, as far as focus, once they focus on the target customer, they're always a solution-based company, which is also much better for you, that they're out to provide the entire solution for the customer. So if your product actually is part of an improved solution, those stores are really going to support it. Now, for this first target for success, you don't have to match what your final distribution network is in. By that I mean if your final distribution network, you really want to be in mass merchandisers, that's okay. You can still, though, go out and get started with more mid-size stores. That'll get you started and give you the market momentum you need really to succeed at the bigger stores. You're really still in the stage, and you really don't get out of the stage of showing momentum for 3 or 4 years. So get some sales success, get it out there in the marketplace, and then you really, if you can just break even in year one, people will be satisfied as long as you're on the path to profitability for year two. Now, as I said, you want to have a customer plan, so you want to start with one larger customer. Now, the light cubes, I mentioned that in an earlier video. This was a product where LED lights went into these little squares that could be frozen and used as light cubes, and they went off. Well, that inventor found Restoration Hardware. And Restoration Hardware has about 100 stores, and they had a great big section on bar utensils, so it was a great fit for the light cubes. And that was the one customer who really pushed the light cubes into the marketplace, because that customer gave him some exposure, gave him some success, and gave him momentum. Where at the same time, what that customer did was sell some products for him, so that he actually built up a little bit of money. And actually, he ended up being best in advertising specialties, and all of that came really out of his restoration hardware arrangement. You can look up the whole story on Light Cubes if you just go to the One Stop Invention Stop, the opening page, and put Light Cubes into the search term. It also helps, so not just one retailer, but you also want to be working on a base of smaller retailers. You always have to keep in mind a retailer might only keep you in the store for 2 years. Sometimes they rotate some stock. Sometimes, you don't meet their expectations. So you have to be able to weather the ups and downs of large customers by having smaller retailers, which generally are more loyal customers. But if you have quite a few smaller retailers, um, even if some will come in, some will drop out, but your base of business will be somewhat steady. And when you're into momentum, you're into gathering information to really push you forward. It helps to have a non-retailer, customers such as QVC or catalogs, or maybe selling through clubs, selling through another company who has complementary products. All of these sites or all of these tactics really kind of expand your base, and you really want to get that base up and going, and creating money, because you can use that then to leverage off of when you're going after the bigger customers that are really your target customer group. Don't overlook other internet sites, not so much internet site of other companies, but people who offer complete solutions. If you go and look at the plumbing Beeline for electricians, here's a company that has a full line of products for electricians. So you want to, if you have an electrician product, Beeline is the place you want to be. You can also have a Facebook store, and you can also have your own website. Don't rely on those sites, though, because it's hard to bring traffic to them, but it's good to have them there, and you can refer to them, in some of your articles or other publicity. And also, if you have a YouTube site where you have a video, you can always put your YouTube video in all your literature so people can go and look and see how your product works and what it's like. So here now we're going to start to make our plan. First, we want to list all the key categories. And our key categories is who could be our large or mid-sized company, who are some of the smaller retailers, who are some of the non-traditional outlets we could have, even put down, some of your mega stores. And then underneath those categories, you want to put a list of all your contacts. Who are your contacts who know stores in those areas? Basically, I remember this story about, this was when I was younger, and people would ask, well, how many times, they'd ask buyers, I should say, how many times does someone need to call on you before you buy their product? And the buyers would say 3 or 4 times. Of course, and then they'd ask inventors, how many times do you call on someone before you give up? And they'd say 2 or 3 times. But the message is people want to see that you keep coming around. You've got to establish credibility. Well, your contacts already have that credibility. So you want to focus on where your contacts have credibility if you want to get quick sales in the first place. So then you want to kind of rate the strength of your contacts and their influence at these sites. So in other words, if you have a contact that has really strong influence at a certain chain of stores, that's much better for you than a contact who has, some contacts, some influence, but not a lot of influence. Again, you want to start out with momentum and rely on the stores where you have the best chance. Now, if you have key to contact target groups and you don't have any contacts, try to talk to your contacts or work your network a little more to try to find those contacts, because it's way much easier to sell when you have a strong contact in the industry who knows that customer than if you're going cold with just your idea. Now, the mid-sized companies that you can support, this is where you really want to start looking. I mean, if you've raised money and you've done things, but you go out with sales reps, and each sales rep is selling like 5 stores a month, which you'd consider tremendous, but each sale is like, let's say, $500 or $1,000, you're not really generating enough revenue. You need that mid-sized store to have a significant impact. So, as a chain with 25 plus stores or a bigger store, somebody who can give you that volume of maybe $25 to $50,000 a year in sales, and maybe more, is the kind of driver that really gets you your momentum up. Now, one of the things that might happen is you have contacts with really large customers, and you want to always have a balancing act where you're balancing your resources, and then you're balancing the sales that you're getting, so that you don't get overextended and get in too many orders for what you can deliver. But always, this is why you always want to keep your manufacturer in the loop. As I said many times, the manufacturer has resources too, and he wants your business and he wants to see your business expand because it helps him a lot. So as you're picking up orders, don't be afraid to go to your manufacturer and say, here, I have these 3-4 orders coming in, but I'm in a pickle. I don't have enough money to really work with you on your traditional terms. What can we work out? And you'll find the manufacturers, unless they're really just stone broke without much money, they're going to be willing to work with you because they want to see you get that new business. They want to see how it's coming and how it gets going. And remember, share all of your information about sales success, what's happening in the market, how you're doing with all of your contacts, because often when they see one person really being successful, they take that kind of as a personal challenge, and they'll go out and try to be just as successful. So if you share information, share your successes, you'll find that the contacts really work a lot harder to get you that business, to get you that start. Now, when you're looking for your stores and you're making up your contact list, you really want to be the stores or your outlets or wherever you're going to distribute your product to be solution-based and focused on the target customer. In reality, QVC succeeds a lot, or Home Shopping Network, because they're very solution-based. They usually have a problem that they show people, and then they have a solution. Well, you need to have solution-based suppliers rather than general merchandisers. I mean, if you walk into Target, nobody's showing you anything. Nobody's showing you how to solve your problems. You kind of have to read the packages and figure it out on your own. So the more you can go with stores that are both solution-based and focused on your target customers, the better off you are. Bike shops, you have camera shops, you have specialty computer shops, you have iPad stores, you have bird feeding stores. All of these stores are kind of focused on a solution, and they're focused on your target customer. Those are the stores that are ideal when you're starting out, because that's where you can go in and train the salespeople, and then they can use that knowledge they pick up from you on your product to go and talk to their customers. The more passionate they are about the customer, the better off you are. Now, if you walk into some stores just have people, well, they have a target customer and they're focused on them, but they don't really seem that passionate. Passionate people really will work harder for your product if they really believe in it. And it's even better if they're a market mover themselves. I mean, if you go into a variety of stores and you start going into industry, you're going to see that some stores, some professionals are considered like a mover in the industry. They know what's coming. They see the trends. They work hard to stay out in front, and they're sort of people that other people in the market watch and try to emulate. So if you can get some of those people behind you, that you get a magnifying effect of 3, 4, 5 times about the success in the marketplace. So kind of keep your eye open for who are the market movers, and then really put them on your list of your target list of customers, and also see, some of your contacts probably know them and can help you get going there. But usually the market movers are very open to new products, open to new ideas. They want to see them. And so if you have a market mover, don't be afraid to go see them themselves. They've been successful by finding new products and new ways to do business. So and that's what you represent to them. Now, you don't really have to worry in this particular period that your efforts match your final distribution plan. You're really trying to get momentum. And basically what happens is surprises abound. any time for invention, you make the best laid plans, and all of a sudden you find out information that means your best laid plans have some big flaws in it. So by going to many different options at the beginning, what you're doing is you're learning a lot about how your product can sell, where it sells best, what things are helping, and what things hurt you, so that you can kind of continually improve your product and get it out in the marketplace in a better way. Also, going to a lot of different outlets really helps you hold your prices. If you're totally dependent on one outlet or one distribution channel, you're going to find they're going to try to squeeze you on price. And if that's the only channel you're selling from, you really don't have much of a defense. But if you're in different channels and they're all kind of accepting your pricing, you can come back on people and tell them, hey, look at this, you're paying this much here. It sold for this much on QVC. This hardware store sold the product at this product price, and it really worked well. And also, not to minimize this, but outlets like QVC and catalogs can provide significantly sales boosts. If you go into our website and you put in a search term Shark Tank, one of the inventors that worked with our prototype designer, T2 Designs, was on Shark Tank, and the QVC Shark picked him up, and he's been selling on QVC steadily, and every couple months he gets a big sales boost. So that sales boost, besides the credibility in the market, he's generating money, and that's a big help to him. Now, when I say be careful of Amazon, there's nothing wrong with how Amazon does business. They're a very fine vendor or a very fine outlet. The problem with Amazon is that other small retailers don't like them. They feel that Amazon steals their business, that people come into their stores, they find out, oh, this is the product I really want. And then they go on to Amazon and order it for 20% less. So, if you're on Amazon, and there's, it's okay to be on it, but don't go touting your success at Amazon to other people in the distribution channel, because everybody else in the distribution channel probably considers Amazon to be a big threat. So there's no point in you kind of throwing the fact you're doing well on Amazon in their faces. So just kind of lie low bringing up Amazon, because I think it usually works out to be counterproductive. Now, momentum, break even. As I said before, everybody would be very pleased if in the first year you broke even. That shows real momentum. It shows that in the second year, maybe you'll really make some money. So if you're going to break even the first year, though, you kind of have to use quite a few resources, and you like to have that quick start. You like to have that one mid-sized customer who can really deliver for you, and you'd like to look at these alternative channels where you can get quick sales too and actually have sales dollars. So like QVC is not going to sell you forever. QVC will come out and they'll watch your sales, and what happens is after a while your sales will start to go down, and then they might drop you. But so don't look at QVC as a long-term panacea for you. Instead, look at QVC as, hey, this can really help me get that first year break-even point that I really need. Now, as I mentioned before, you want to break even. You want to show your investors you're making progress. Make sure you do a financial chart before you start to understand what sales levels you need to actually break even. So sometimes people think, oh, if I do $150,000 in sales, that would be fabulous. But when they do a break-even analysis, they see that $150,000 in sales and they lose $30,000 or $40,000. Well, that's not really that great. So you need to see that let's say your break-even point is $250,000 in sales. You need to figure out how you're going to get those sales before you get started, so you be sure that your plan matches your need for income. And as you're getting started, the key is get out there in the marketplace, be with distributors, go to trade shows, see associations, interact with people, talk to people. I can't tell you how many great contacts I've made at trade shows, just sitting at the lunch table, and when people come by, just talking to them and see what they do. And everybody seems happy to talk. Everybody's anxious to hear more about what they're doing in the marketplace. and then also be out in the market with the YouTubes, your websites, Facebooks. Get out there where end users could see, the more exposure you get, the better off you are. And if you do have a website, write articles, have posts that bring people to your site. Um, really work on that. Um, and because basically you want the end users to drive the distribution channel, but in the end your market exposure is really what's going to work for you to get your product into a lot of outlets so you can start having some sales success.